All right, hey everybody. So, coming to you live on day 7. Getting my walk in today. In a slightly, ever so slightly cooler part of the day. It's still like walking into an armpit when you walk outside. So, there's that. But yeah, so I gotta get my 45 in. My 2 45s. But this will be one of them. And so, anyways, yeah, just coming to you live. So we're finishing up week 1, and I figured in the one for today, number 1, I'd bring back the collarbone, because I don't know them. I waved anyways. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so the collarbone apparently gets me more views, and I guess until I don't know, I get prettier feet, or maybe I could be like one of those influencers that are like, oh, I got all my followers because I'm so smart. They're like, oh, well, let me show you something really cool behind me. Can you see it behind me over there? There's a thing. Oh, cleavage. Oh, well, all right, I got to be honest with you, since this is a truthful moment. If that worked and I get like 100,000 new followers, I didn't get them because I'm smart. I got them because I showed my cleavage. So, as long as we all know, that's how it worked. So anywho, until my cleavage or my feet do more for me than just sharing the journey, I'll just keep sharing the journey. So what I thought I would do is just a little bit of a recap for this week, just for myself and just some thoughts. So one, my not said out loud goal, just because I have so much weight to lose, with the weight portion of it, is for the first little bit, about 1 pound a day. Again, I have a ton of weight to lose, so that might not be a right goal for anybody else. So like I keep sharing, not a doctor, not a nutritionist, not a anything, just a Luke, singular Luke, probably big enough for the size of 2 Lukes, but we're not going to get into that kind of talk. So you stop that negativity. Wait, that's me talking. Oh crap. Anyways, so I was looking at that, and that's pretty reasonable at the beginning stages for myself. And so this morning I'm down 7 pounds. So that is fantastic. Really good progress there, and I'm not super hungry, and all in all feeling pretty good. So that is one part of the story. And I'm going to tell you guys real quickly too, this heat is making this walk brutal, and I'm just getting started. But here we are. It's good for the cardio. When you can walk and eventually run and talk, you got a good cardio space. So you guys are helping me get better. I appreciate you. So that was really great. So that was a highlight of the week, is that, hey, my weight's moving, and there are always non-scale victories. But for me, I can tell you that a scale victory means a whole lot more, especially early on. I do better when I get some quick wins. It's the endorphins and all that really good stuff that you get. And so pretty excited that that's happening. So that was a big one. Another one, which I think if you watched any of my previous videos, you saw, another one was that my job was going away, and it did. It completed on Friday. So I had a bit more struggle than was presenting itself initially, and I noticed it in myself when I started doom scrolling on the social medias, and not like the kind of standard you forget where you are for about 15 minutes, but more like, oh my gosh, that was an hour. What is going on? And it was just my body, my mind telling me like, hey Luke, something is off, and that's okay. And so once I really recognized it, I was like, all right, Luke, you gotta really dig into this and just start working on some of those things. And so I did. So I just started focusing like, all right, it's okay for me to have emotions about things ending. It's okay for me to not completely understand them either. Even when I feel like I'm quite aware. Not always. None of us are. We can do our best, but none of us are. So that was another thing. So I started dealing with some of the doubts and fears and unknown emotions about something like that ending. What does that mean? What am I going to do next? What if this YouTube thing doesn't take off? What if I'm going to have to show more than 2 toes? I mean, that's a lot. You got to leave people wanting more. And if I'm like, oh, here's my whole foot, you know, I've got no secrets. It's going to be Luke Toria's secrets, which there are none of those left. So, you know, that's a big journey for myself. Watch this. I crossed the road again. And I didn't die. It's going to be really sad one day if I do that and I do die. Don't subscribe to that. Ooh, the sun's out. It's the golden hour. It's so bright. But anyway, so that was the next stage in there. But what I noticed in that, and I've made sure I'm attentive to this, is that when I had that, the emotional upheaval, the pogo stick of emotions, the ups and downs, the seesaw of emotion, the ups and downs, the elevator of emotion. Oh, stop me. That's actually all I got right this second. But when I had that, I started to watch what else went on in my body, went on in my life. And those were those times when I craved a whiskey a little bit more than normal, when I craved an outlet, like social media, doom scrolling, or just generic laziness. And so in those moments, you know, because I do want to share the realities, if you guys are choosing to follow me, that's kind of what reality looks like, is that even when you're very motivated, like I am right now, and you're focused, like I am right now, and you're out walking in the devil's armpit, like I am right now, then even still, you can go through those moments where, you know, your emotions are more than your willpower. And so when we go back to one of the previous conversations we had about desires, what you desire now versus what you desire most, willpower, I can't remember the book that I read, but I'll have to go back and look at it. There's a book that I read that willpower is not enough. You have to know your vision and your purpose in that. And so for me, just kept coming back to that. It was not easy. And I still would love a whiskey today. So that's just a reality. But that is going to be the fight for discipline that I have to work on with myself. And so it's good. But yeah, so not really, I mean, sure, there's some, you saw a little bit of cleavage, you know, so some collarbone, a little bit of, you know, good thinking about how you process this stuff. But that's kind of like what I wanted to just share this time. Nothing too crazy today. No known words of wisdom, but just experience. And this is the experience. You know, you have your ups and downs, and you meet a guy named Luke, and he's got at least 3 descriptors of ups and downs. We all make mistakes. But anyway, so yeah, so that's been my journey. I'm looking forward to hitting week 2 and see where that goes. Oh, there was one other thing. I knew there was something else in my head. One of ADHD guys, hey, welcome to it. So one of the other things that I'm going to add this week, and I debated it a little bit. So yesterday I did the ballroom burn. We had a nice little boot camp up at Ballroom in Motion, which is really cool. And they teach the class throughout the week at the YMCA here locally. And Ashley's an incredible instructor. Shout out Ashley if you follow me. No, you should. But one of the things that I have a tendency to do is if I'm not good at something, I tend to not do it. Thankfully, I'm good at quite a few things. So, you know, I'm not just like in a corner going, oh no, I'm terrible at everything. But I tend to not do something if I can't be at least decent at it. And so one of the things that I stayed away from for a long time was dancing. My feet and my hands don't want to connect easily. And so my first initial challenge was taking classes, because that is easier. Because it's like, hey, Luke, step here, step there, move your shoulders. I'm like, no, they don't disconnect. And so we're still learning how to let my shoulders and my hips be free. They're really constrained right now, but that's okay. We're working on that too. But going into something like a Zumba or the ballroom burn was a challenge because there's a coordination and an expectation in my head that I'm going to be good at something. And there's the potential that I will never be able to shake it fast and watch myself. Shake it fast, show you what I'm working with. In any way that looks like I should be dancing. And I do get quite envious of those people who don't care. I do, and so I'm still working on that. But what I've decided to do this week, because again, my ultimate desires are bigger than my current desires, I am going to let classes like that be a challenge for me in multiple levels of cardio, because I'm moving a lot of body, and so it's tough. But to build up strength in my legs and mentally and emotionally challenge myself with something I'm not great at. I'm getting better, but I'm not great at it. And so I will be struggling through trying to get footwork right and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like, sorry, I didn't mean to wink at you. That time I did. But it is starting in an area where I'm not the most confident. But again, ultimate goals. My ultimate goal is to get to a place where I'm in a much healthier part of life. And so to do that, I gotta increase my cardio. I gotta drop some weight, and might as well work on my rhythm and timing and all that good stuff. So anyway, so that's my challenge for myself this week. Well, I keep it at 75 hard, which is already pretty challenging, but hitting some Zumbas and there's, a lot of rhythm kind of classes and coordination, which I've lost a little bit as I put on weight, but we'll get back to it. So anyways, that's my goal this week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, stare at me through the bushes in my front yard, whatever works for you. Thanks.